experience for the first time Montreal traffic. I was just I'm sorry, this is what? What time is it?
It's called rush hour.
Yes, Kevin was like, yes, it's rush hour in Montreal. So, anyways, good to know, good to experience so that I know what to fix in Montreal. Yes? Right, right.
On a dry day.
They've been doing that for 20 years. We'll do it in 1 year.
Yay!
So, thank you to the children who have been waiting for quite some time. My apologies, I wasn't driving. No blame. It's just, they sometimes our starship have to follow also the road signs, right? So, I've noticed that in Quebec, each cities and towns I go to, the crowd is getting larger and larger.
Yes.
And also, I believe this is being live streamed by this young gentleman right over here.
Thank you.
If it's not live streamed, then I'm sure he's going to post it on his blog, right? And many of you guys, I think, know of his blog. That's how you ended up here? For sure. And of course, Queen Romana's telegram, right?
Yes.
And your
Yes.
friends and families telling you the Queen is in town. Better get used to, having a Queen in town. And she even coaches on how to park the bus. Might as well do it next time, right? I'm kidding. But I can drive a bus, I'm sure, my other lifetime. So, usually also, whoa.
Save the Queen.
Keep it, calm over there, yes? Keep it calm, right? I know you're excited, but don't have to show it. So, what was I saying about getting used to having your queen visit? And she'll be driving the bus one day, just her own entourage. Or actually, you guys prefer to have a starship, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right there.
It's right there.
Technology. And perhaps next time we meet in not so distant future, you'll have this beam me up Scotty, and then you know exactly where the Queen is, right? Anyone who watched Star Trek, teleportation,
Yes.
right? Right. So, that technology is available. They don't make movie or TV series unless they have the technology. They've always had it,
Yeah.
right? So it's about time that Canada gets Canada first and gets it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? That'll be possible because now you don't have a queen who's robbing you with your taxes and your natural resources and sending it offshore.
Amen.
Many of you perhaps have read that I have issued a royal decree
Yes.
nationalizing your natural resources.
Yes.
In simple terms, it means I have returned the ownership of natural resources to we the people of Canada. So every Canadian is owner of the natural resources.
Thank you.
As it should have been done by the so-called monarchs in the past. But then again, there's a big difference between a benevolent one and one installed by the central bankers,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And some have labeled me as an extremist, perhaps because I have burnt the corporation flag, the white and red flag. When I did that on February 3rd in Ottawa, it was not to disrespect any of you or our veterans or our military. It was to symbolize the ending of the corporation government and their tyranny and oppression in Canada.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Phone's ringing.
City of Vancouver. How may I help you? Un momento, por favor. So, anyways, so that's one. And I have also been labeled as a dictator.
Oh,
That's right. Anything under the sun, everything under the sun, I have been labeled as a dictator. Well, I don't know whether that was before or after I issued martial law. Nonetheless, here's the truth. A dictator would have robbed all of you of your natural resources and all of your bank accounts
right.
and sent it offshore via your taxes, right?
Right.
Right.
The opposite is true. I gave you back your natural resources. I took away all of your taxes. No income tax in the Kingdom of Canada. I'm not quite sure which dictator they're referring to, but someone who doesn't take income tax from her own people is hardly a dictator, right?
Nope.
I have also issued a royal decree making being poor in Canada unlawful.
Yes.
Being homeless in Canada is unlawful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think a dictator would do that. Do you think?
No.
Right. So all of the projection and misinformation that the mainstream media continues to do have failed because regardless of what it is that they try to do, I am delivering truth to we the people.
Yeah.
And when I have removed all of the taxes, with the exception of one, which is your goods and services tax, for luxury items only. And when you buy your home, it'll be one tax only. When it's resold, there's no tax to it. And you won't have to pay all of those services when you go to your city hall or provinces. I believe the province of Ontario has already started following my decree.
Oh, really?
And that is, they have stopped charging people when they're renewing their licenses, because I said there should only be one. It should only be charged once and it should never expire. I have also addressed the digital ID.
Yeah.
I have issued a royal decree prohibiting the use of digital ID because it allows whomsoever has control of those technologies, allows them to spy on.
Us.
We the people.
That's right. So your queen has issued a royal decree prohibiting the use of that technology in the Kingdom of Canada.
Thank you.
The Kingdom of Canada is also under natural law, not common law. Common law is a human construct. So we are going back to God's law.
Yeah,
Natural
amen.
law. Okay? And for our parents and the children, perhaps this is the first generation that won't have to pay taxes and won't have to suffer in slavery. I also, as far as being labeled, what else did they label me? They labeled me as
Insane.
crackpot.
Oh,
And my answer to that was, what did I say? Your opinion is none of my business.
right.
Enjoy your freedom, because if it takes a crackpot or a psychopath to free we the people of the Kingdom of Canada and Canadians, around the world and Canada from the communist military of China, then I am glad to and proud to wear that badge as a psychopath. Because you see, when you're dealing with having to remove communists, military from your country, it takes a psychopath to do that. So that's why I said I'll be glad to wear that uniform, if that is, or the badge. Because if I weren't a psychopath, Canadians would have been hauled into a communist camp, forcibly injected, forcibly taught Chinese, working 18 hours a day for free for the Communist Party. So you may label me, those in the mainstream media and their minions, you may label me whatever you like. Enjoy your freedom. The reason you're able to criticize me is because of my work that has been done while you stayed in your homes and slept and enjoyed the television that has been manipulating you for decades.
Yeah, right.
So the heavy lifting has been done with the assistance of the U.S. Armed Forces and Special Forces and Allied Forces around the world. Now, going back to my burning the corporation flag in Ottawa, the next day or two after that, I have honored not only Canadians, but our military, veterans, and those who have fallen. Not only in the Kingdom of Canada, but around the world. You know why? Because the Kingdom of Canada is the very first country on planet Earth to not have a corporation flag. So your flag now, the Kingdom of Canada's flag, is also known as a freedom flag, not only by the militaries around the world, but we the people. That is why you guys are seeing purple across the world popping up, because the military. Whoa! You're so excited there, right?
You're too excited.
That's right. She's like, just remember I did that. So the purple going around the world, you know, the buildings, even what bridge was it in Montreal? It turns
Right.
purple at night,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
right?
oh.
So many buildings, and when I was in Ottawa, the Indigenous People's Building
Oh.
turned purple also.
Wow.
Right?
Il y a certaines vidéos sur Telegram, même de la cabane, qui sont virées en purple. Ça veut dire qu'ils sont
That's
contrôlés.
correct. And
Ils sont
many
déjà
of you
contrôlés.
also have seen the video from Newfoundland,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When I went into the water. Oh, that was freezing. Not when I was inside, you know, in the water, but when I came out, I couldn't feel my feet. But you know, your queen had to show, you know, gracefulness. And I'm like, I can't feel my feet, but I have to walk like nothing is happening. You know, I was saying, Divine Sisters, God help me, make sure I can make it to that spot where my shoe was left. So, you know, but now the flag of the Kingdom of Canada is officially planted in the Atlantic.
Yay.
And I also drew water from the Atlantic, and I have it with me in this RV to bring to British Columbia, and I will pour that water to symbolize East Coast, West Coast, sea to sea. Okay? And to unite we the people from coast to coast to coast. There shouldn't be any division. That is why I said no more politics, no more politicians. Because it didn't matter which side you voted. They were all the same. I said they had 5 different zebras, or how many ever registered political parties they had, but they were all controlled by one, and from London and Washington, D.C., the corporation headquarters,
No more no gay.
right? And the Vatican.
Exactly.
By the way,
No more shit.
you guys are very, very rich. With all that money recovered from the Vatican and all the,
Yeah.
hey,
Gold.
Oh,
right?
treasures.
Not rich without love.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? All of that is yours.
Ah.
yay.
That's right, because the corporation Canada is bankrupt. It has been bankrupt since 2017. And many of you, if you have done, or I actually posted the done and something street, what corporation that was, that had a record of when they had last filed their, I guess, income tax, corporation tax, and it showed 2017. And their website was directed to money, what is it? MoneyGram. If you guys look back into in one of my posts, I showed you how many corporations they had. They had over 10,867 corporations in Canada alone, which means every department was incorporated by them. That is why they were charging you all that kind of services, because they are all, and they were all, a corporation. They were never for you. So can you imagine, why would a government, if it were for the we the people, have more than 10,000 corporations and their subsidiaries in Canada? That's right. You see, one thing about technology is that it works both ways. If you spied on me, I will spy on you. If I spy on you, you'll spy on me. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's why I said we have everything and everything and everything. Right?
Good.
Perfect.
That's right. That's right. And of course, with the help of our brothers and sisters, our Space Force, and also, of course, the celestial beings who have helped liberate planet Earth and save the children and the humans in captivities underground in the dumps, the deep underground military base, right?
Right.
One thing also, because they were so good at projecting that Canada was the greatest country on earth. Meanwhile, reality was the we the people were hungry and homeless. Not only that, they were using our children for adrenochrome and sex trafficking and human trafficking and everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Deplorable. We're borrowing that word from Hillary Clinton.
Oh!
I remember that word, right?
Horrible.
Yes.
I would say horrible.
So that's what has been happening to Canada. And before the United States Armed Forces and Allied Forces came to Canada, there was really actually no one, including even the half-baked Canadians that I call. These are the traitors that sold Canada and Canadians to the highest bidder. No one really stood up for Canada. And when I was back in Ottawa, February 3rd, I quoted the Commander-in-Chief of the United States saying that Queen Romana was the only one that stood up for Canada and Canadians and liberated Canada. If Queen Romana didn't stand up, Canadians would have been in captivity right about now. And not only that, not only Canada and Canadians, I'm just actually beginning to realize, because my conversation with the Commander-in-Chief was like this. Listen, we have a problem in Canada. The problem is not overseas. I'm trying to replay what was said on the phone. And then I said, we need to, number one, I need help in Canada because no one is helping Canada. And I don't see any allied forces in Canada. And I said, I cannot allow. And I must have been well, actually, I was already in tears by that time because I was shaking. I said, I cannot allow my people and my country to fall in the hands of the Communist Party. And I said, the problem is here, not overseas. You guys have to send the troops immediately to Canada, bring them from overseas. Because if Canada falls, they're already here. I said the Chinese military were already in the dumps.
Yeah.
They were using it as a staging, they were using Canada as a staging ground
Yeah.
to attack the United States.
States, exactly.
And had I not intervened, not only would Canada have fallen, but the United States would have been attacked right here from Canada, and it would have fallen. And the rest of the world would have fallen into communism. So I was, and during that time, the answer I got was, okay, let me talk to the troops. And during that time, of course, our troops were around the world, our allied forces around the world. So they had to send messages across. And I had to wait a few days. And during that few days I was waiting, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. Well, I don't usually sleep a lot. Some of you know. And I barely eat. I only go to the kitchen when I'm hungry. Usually it takes about 18 hours before I feel that, unless I have a lot of work and heavy energy to deal with, then I keep on eating. These guys notice, and even sometime in the morning, he got worried this morning because I was doing all my stuff, and he's like, you haven't had your coffee, Your Majesty. And I was just already working. I took a shower, actually, in the sink, because the bathroom is filled with all the stuff from the other RV, so I couldn't shower there, so I had to do that's right. So, and then I went about doing my work, and he was facing back and forth in the kitchen. And I'm like, you're gonna burn a hole through the kitchen, And he said, well, is there something wrong, Your Majesty, because you haven't had your coffee? And I'm like, it's all right, you can have your coffee, and I'll do my work. And he thought, because he usually, see me have coffee first thing in the morning. So, but everything was fine, and he was also calm right after I took the coffee. So I said, okay, I think this young man here, this kid, I treat him as my brother. So I said, okay, to calm his energy, because I can read his energy, and he was a bit worried. So I took the coffee, and it calmed him down to see that.
Calmed him.
Exactly, to calm him. Right? So that's how we have to adjust in terms of my taking a shower in the sink, with the shampoo, and yeah. So, and many of you, I have experienced being poor, being homeless, and hungry. So when I was saying to the Commander-in-Chief of the United States, and while I was waiting, and before I even approached the Commander-in-Chief and the troops worldwide, asking for Canada to be liberated, I couldn't eat, as I've mentioned. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and because the thought of every child, every Canadian being hauled into the communist camp. And not only that, being under communism was not something I was willing to see my people and my country. And here's another thing. Someone said, but you were not born in Canada. And then I said, loyalty to the country and the people is not measured by where you were born.
No.
Just look at the half-baked Canadians that sold. They were all born in Canada, but they sold Canada and the Canadians to the highest bidder. So what loyalty do you want to see exactly? Judge me not by the color of my skin
No.
or where I was born. Judge me but with what I do and have done.
Exactly.
So I say to the people that usually throw, enjoy your freedom. It's there already. And now this traveling across the country, and I'm also traveling across the United States. I was invited by the Commander-in-Chief to tour the United States. All 50 states.
Oh.
So, yes. And now I have people also from Europe asking me to tour Europe.
Wow.
But remember, I said Canada first. So they are watching what we have done in Canada. And also they would like that energy in the United States and around the world. So I would like to thank all of you for standing up for your freedom. It's there, continue to demand it. And I have heard from some of the people commenting about unemployment insurance. Service Canada, is it?
Yeah.
That have been refusing some of our
Yeah.
people, we the
Yeah.
people. Since January, there was a lady who applied, or actually she was refused twice since
Yeah.
January 2022. And she applied again for the third time, and the individual on the phone was about to again turn her down. And then she said, well, before you turn me down for the third time, let me read something, a royal decree by the Queen and Commander-in-Chief, Queen Romana. And so she read the entire royal decree, my royal decree, and then the lady put her on hold and said, hold please. 10 minutes later, she came back and said, you can come back at 8 o'clock and fill out all the paperwork because you're ready to go.
Wow.
That's right. So, you see, the games they're playing, they know of me, the entire world knows of me, your Queen and Commander-in-Chief. Many people in this corporation departments still think that their bosses' bosses have not been removed. They have. And some of those, and many of those, and majority of those you see on television are CGIs and clones. And if they're not clones, they are AI. You will notice that they have begun twitching and glitching. Right? They go like this. Also one thing, yes, they blink. Those are not humans, they are robots. Also you'll notice that they can do this or do this because the robots cannot move as humans can move quickly. You see? So if you guys were paying attention, we've been sending you the message to continue to pay attention. We are using the mainstream media now to show we the people how evil